Foreign workers make up 2/3 of the labor force in the Gulf, and the rights of the lower-level workers have long been subject to debate and criticism. Now the government of Bahrain is out to tackle the problem.
The construction industry in the Gulf is a tough, dusty, intense business. Even with 4 hours off during the peak summer heat, this crew of Indian workers grind it out with temperatures above 38 degrees centigrade or 100 degrees Fahrenheit at 5 in the afternoon. All this for $300 to $500 a month with medical coverage and basic housing. That is, if they are paid on time.
Practices that still take place are common, not so much here in Bahrain. I don't hear much of it, but in the Gulf generally I know colleagues who work in other markets where labour have not been paid for 3, 4 and 5 months.
Martin is proud of his firm's track record, but reports of unfair treatment persist. The Indian embassy still has 43 companies in Bahrain blacklisted. It's the sort of headline that makes this man cringe. Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad is overhauling the labor market and wants to get rid of the practice where a guest worker is tied to the employer who brought him in.
It makes me very uncomfortable, and what I think is the greatest protection for workers is the elimination of the sponsorship system. Sponsorship in this region is similar to indentured servitude in the United States 400 years ago.
The Western-educated Crown Prince has assigned Ali Ahmed Radi to deal with the problem. Radi is the CEO of Bahrain's Labor Market Regulatory Authority, the LMRA. His shiny one-stop shop is out to introduce transparency by bringing all labor activities under one umbrella. The first job is to get all guest workers in the system and match their visas to their employers. This handheld device allows for on-site inspection and verification. There is even a web portal with a page for each worker to check his or her status, and for the LMRA to have direct contact with the worker and their sponsor.
We need to do these changes now, and what we are doing it based on our requirement as Bahrain, and this is what we are doing.
Bahrain is home to just over 1 million people. Nearly half are expatriate workers and their families. Labor officials say demand right now is growing better than 10% a year with all the construction on the books. Supply is a trickier equation.
With all the skyscrapers and housing being built, it's difficult for companies to find and keep workers. That's one factor behind the push to sign on to International Labor Organization standards. According to the UN agency, Bahrain has ratified half of the key human rights and labor conventions. The problem, the ILO says, is not with what governments in the Gulf want to achieve, but what is actually practiced by companies on the ground. Stiffer penalties or a public scorecard for compliance would be a start.
I think the very high-level political commitment is now got to be matched by a set of measures that are about carrot and stick maybe to make sure that we have full compliance.
Meanwhile, the government is charging employers a monthly fee for bringing in expat laborers and putting that money into a fund to train Bahrainis for skilled positions. It is an effort known locally as Bahrainization.
At the end of the day, it's a circle by making sure that high-skilled jobs are filled by Bahrainis, they will get the decent salaries, and therefore they will live a decent life, and by that we are elevating national standard of living.
A higher standard of living for both Bahrainis and the foreign workers who continue to sweat out a living.
And that's it for this edition of CNN Marketplace Middle East. I'm John Defterius. Thanks for watching.